What's up, everybody? I'm going to continue on this abracadabra and let you understand it from the three levels that I'd like to share here. I want to probably make this because obviously people really enjoyed that last one, and I'm going to explain this from a lot of different ways, and I guess I'll probably do this, a few more parts of this, since people are enjoying it. In the beginning was the Word. Well, the Word is sword. There were words, swords. The words are pentagrams. Pentagrams are pens. In my earlier work, you can always find clues into what the pentagram is, and that's the body. And the source of things, secondarily, is the word, spoken. And then the third is the word written. The first most powerful thing is the thought form. Because for you to speak, you have to have the thought. But what's happened on this plane of existence, on this realm, because people are so impressed with the material world, they're unfamiliar with the planting of the seed, which came out of thought. Let me explain it this way. If I have something that I want to manifest, and it is, I don't know, I want to go eat a cheeseburger. I want to go, I want to get a puppy. I want to find $50 on the street. Who cares what it is? The point is that I can write this down and turn it into a sigil. I could speak it out loud, or I could think it. I don't need to do the second and third thing. I don't need to write it down or speak it. I can think it. So therefore, the point of speaking, or the point of writing out these sigils, which I am all for, and it's all for teaching people that these two other things are useful, and I'm going to explain why a little later that these two other forms of assisting as a tool to manifest are important. I'll get to that in a little bit. But we must know that the creative source is the mind and the imagination and the picture. I can imagine something to happen, and it will happen. I don't have to speak it. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to write it down. But I will still get the results. Now, for a lot of people, it's not that easy, because their mind will keep saying, as they're walking down the street, they might have been thinking about something happening, but as they're walking down to obtain what it is that they require, what it is they desire, their mind will keep going, no, that's not going to happen, or that you don't want that, or and they let these, what is called the whispers of Shaitan, the whispers of Satan, the whispers of the world that's around you, the material world that says, how do you expect that to manifest? What do you think, that comes out of your mind? And this is really what it is. It's a vibration coming back to you from the physical world that's telling you, well, why would you expect that to happen? What do you think, this all comes from your mind? But truly it does. And so for people to use, and here's why the second and third thing is important, because they're basically like, when I say the second and third things are important, meaning writing something down or speaking it, because they become vibrations in the other direction for people. So when I say vibrations in the other direction, it's a trigger. It's a mechanism as a reminder for self. It gets you back on target. It gets you back on a path. If you're walking down the street and you forget something, let's say you're walking with someone, and a friend says, "Oh, well, we were supposed to go get that from the grocery store." "Oh yeah, that's right." Now that friend there that spoke that's the same thing as you speaking something forth or writing something down. It speaks to the spirit. See, it's still speaking to the spirit, and the spirit is the original source, which, we could say is breath, or the energy of the ether. But nonetheless, that's not sound. That's not writing, but it speaks to that. It speaks to the creative force, which is everywhere, which is in your mind as an imagination, as the entirety of this. The source code is yourself. It's self-referencing. And this whole thing of the world being destroyed by too powerful of magicians, and let me try explain something about the power of magic. You would only destroy yourself in your world. You couldn't destroy everybody else's, or else that would have already happened a long time ago. You know, it's like, oh, if someone's going to produce an atomic bomb and destroy the world. I mean, there's a lot of people that are pretty much have kind of explained that. Well, let me go here with this. Let's say this magical thing that I'm trying to teach and how it works. There's nothing I really can't divulge. There's nothing anybody really, as I was saying in the last video, that there's levels to these things, and there's hidden knowledge and arcane knowledge, and yeah, to a degree, and we only do that so people don't get ahead of themselves. We're not going to give the keys to the Ferrari to the 5-year-old unless, of course, it's an advanced practitioner. It's, you know, it's your ability to use these things will only it'll only link up with you, and it'll only make sense to you if you can understand it. It won't work for you if it's not ready for you, if you're not fertile for it. It won't work for you. And if you happen to use something that's outside of your capacity, like, think of it this way: you try to use a sword that's too big for you, it's gonna be hard to pick up, and you're gonna hurt yourself a little bit, and that will be your lesson. Don't pick up that sword. And in the same way, if I tell you about high levels of magic, and you go and try it, and you injure yourself, that's not my fault. That's your fault. See, that's your responsibility. It's your ability to respond by choosing to use a tool that's correct for the. You know, you use a fork to pick up a piece of food. You're not going to drink the ocean with the knife. You know, there's tools to do certain things. You draw with a pencil, not with a piece of broccoli. Like, understand this. If I give you a high level tool, and I explain to you high levels of why using, say, people were asking about blood over intent and blood magic and spit. I mean, and I always got into it from this level. Like, all of your fluidiums in your body are magical secretions, secrets, sacrum. The sacrum is where the secrets of the sacred knowledge come from, and this is the secretions in your body, whether it's snot or tears or blood or semen or tears, whatever it might be. You can use all of these, and some have more power than others. And you can amplify and you can add these things together. And when I was explaining in the last video about abracadabra or amen, that is kind of you could call it either a key to unlock a door, or you could look at it as a button. Press this button after you've put hit the enter button. Here's all the commands on the computer. You sure you want that? Okay, say amen, say abracadabra. It opens up a portal or a doorway to kind of streamline and express that information. So this gets into why we say, like, you better be sure of what you want. You know, they say the devil's in the details, meaning that all of the little details, dot your T's, dot your I's, cross your T's. Make sure that you've written your story correctly. Make sure you've thought through everything you want, because I want to have you could ask for something, but the way that you get it might not be in the way that you perceived, unless, of course, you'd like to be more detail oriented in what you request. And so if I clue you into how to make a sigil, because I've already done this, we can get into sigils, and we can get into all of the different things. I mean, I've even done in earlier videos things beyond sigils, all the way up to making God forms, and all the way up to creating a grimoire for yourself. But there's things to seal those things, including wax, and including blood or spit or semen or urine or tears, and all of those things have different degrees and levels of energy and power in them. Different degrees of happiness, sadness, and different degrees of energetic qualities. So this abracadabra, this amen, the ceiling and the portal, the key to unlock the things that you speak. If I want to get back to what I was originally saying and just kind of be a little bit redundant on that, but again, all of these things that we say, like, as we speak them, we shall receive. Certainly, that's helping to, helping to amplify something. You say, oh no, if you just think it, you gotta speak it too, or you gotta write it down. You don't, because in the origination, in the original form, you are thought, you are imagination, you are an imagination of yourself, and so the things that you imagine come to you. But to retrain yourself to get to that place, because when you decide to pass on to another realm, you don't get to take a book bag with a pen and physical items with you. You don't get to take a pen and paper with you. So you can observe right there that you're just taking your consciousness, that you're just taking the vibrations that occur in what the source field is, what the place, the point of creation is. Now we use these things like a pen and paper. You know, the papacy and the pentagram. We use this body. We use our vocal cords to help express and amplify things at times, and to just re-encourage our mind to say, "Hey, I said it. See what happened, mind? Let's get back to what we really are as all sorcerers and creators of everything divine ourselves." But in the meantime, there are tricks and there are ways to amplify and encourage manifestation to happen for yourself. And I've told this story before, and I didn't tell anybody. Only a few people know why this happened, to the degree it did, and it even has, and I'll give you this much. I'll tell the story again, and I'll tell there are if I'm going to get the positives with it, I'm going to get the negatives with it. Meaning, if I've done something to increase the power in my voice or in my control of the language, the letters, the alphabet, which I have done by using pretty high level magic, that when I write something, when I speak something, it comes a lot quicker than most people. And there's a lot of reasons for this. One is probably because I'm in a better condition. My body's in a decent shape. My mind is closer to understanding and understanding and overstanding these laws. There's really just one law, but and I practice, like, in a sense, like, this is my life. This is what I practice. So I'm living it. The magnum opus, or the magnus opus. That's your life. That's the great book. That's the great work. Is your imagination, working on your imagination. But I'll give you the negative to this too. Is I've had what people would term bad things happen to me because of misspeaking or saying things that I didn't truly think through, and the results were not what most people would want. So this is why I don't usually share high levels of magic with people, because I wouldn't want anybody to get injured because of it. I wouldn't want people to have a bad go about it. But as I put these things out here, you must remember, like, your life is your responsibility. And if you put on the coat, you put the skull cap on and want to be a sorcerer, want to be a magician, want to be a real deal creator. You are anyways, but if you want to upgrade it, know that you're going to get, you're amplifying energy. And so I've had some negative things occur, but I've had some interesting things occur too. And here's the story that I'll tell you all again, and I'll tell you why it happened. A friend of mine came and visited me, and we were having breakfast, and we were in this restaurant. And in this restaurant, there was windows, skylights above us, all above us. And my friend had said the evening before she had this really intense, vivid dream. And this is a person that knows me very well and knows about my practices, and she has her own abilities too. She doesn't practice them as often, but she has quite a degree of I don't know, she can dream future. She's dreamt some really crazy things that were direct, like told me, and then it happened. And this happened to other people. And she's like, I should call this person. I had this really strange dream about so and so. And she called, and it occurred. Now, she had told me she had a dream about it flooding in New Orleans, and there being rain everywhere, and it was really, I was like, and it was sunny out. It was a sunny day. There was no reason for it. There was no clouds, nothing on the, it wasn't supposed to rain. And I was like, well, I just done some magic. I just done some high level magic the day before with a sigil, and with body fluid, and with candles, and sealing it with wax. And I had used a pretty powerful incantation. And so I said to her, I was like, you think it's going to rain today? You think it's going to flood here? And I started laughing, and I was like, it's going to rain today. In fact, it's going to rain right on my head. It's going to rain now on my head. And in 5 minutes, someone heard me, like, we know the person there, and there was more than one person watched this happen. It started raining within 5 minutes to the point where the sky got black. It rained, and it basically bust open some of the skylights, and it started not just leaking, but raining profusely on top of my head. This is the only place in the restaurant that this happens. But then it rains to the point where it flooded the place that we were sitting. And I said, it's going to rain and it's going to flood. And it rained directly on top of my head and flooded the place, where they had to come out and mop up the floor and push all the water out of there. Now, that's a powerful degree of magic, which it can go in any direction. Now, that was just something that occurred. That was not good, bad, or indifferent, really. It was just more of a, here's what it looks like. You know, nothing, we're not going to go, flip a car over, and we're not going to make, $1 million off this. I'm just going to show you how this works. So, for most people, they can manifest out of language and out of thoughts, and there's a way to amplify these things, and there's a way to re-encourage your system and to reprogram yourself. There's a way to, and I'll put it in the terms of computers, you can defragment and clean your entire system and your hard drive, and that is in a sense of cleaning your brain and your body by fasting and by drinking distilled water to clean out your brain, to unlock and get rid of what you'd call, I guess, looping mechanisms within the brain. You can get rid of salts that are actually doing it. So from a physical standpoint, from the physical level, there's things in there that you can remove. From the mental level, it now all of a sudden these neurological pathways that used to exist, and there was basically shorts in your system, in your brain and your body as well, those will get removed. And all of a sudden you start from a place of, now you can spit out a power in a different way. And just think, if you have a short in a wire, you're not getting full power to the end result. You're not getting the power to the light bulb if there's a short somewhere. It's spewing off and losing energy. Now, if you clean all that up and you can just direct power energy, and all of a sudden we amplify that power energy by using sigils, seals, fluid of your body, you can amplify how quickly manifestation will occur. So maybe I'll turn this into a couple more videos, and I'll go deeper on this abracadabra, and I'll just listen. I'll do a once through and listen to everything I said here, and see if anybody has any more questions, because I'm trying to cover a few other questions people asked me, as I like to do, just kind of fold them all into one video here. But I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, have fun, do things for the good of yourself and of others, and magic can become a lot of fun. Stay well, everybody.